English questions about accidents. Have you ever broken a bone? No, I have been lucky enough to never have broken a bone. Or, yes, I have broken my arm before. I was running down the stairs, I tripped and fell and broke my arm. My mom took me to the hospital where they put on a cast. What do firefighters do? Firefighters help us in case of emergencies. For example, when there is a fire, they quickly put on their protective gear and they rush to the fire to put it out. They also do other jobs. If there is some kind of accident, if someone is stuck, they have the equipment to deal with most emergencies. What is the most dangerous thing in your kitchen? The most dangerous things in a kitchen are usually knives, which are sharp and you can cut yourself, and also the stove because there is gas and a fire. You have to be very careful when you cut with a knife or when you use the stove. Always switch off the gas if you are not using it. Have you ever trained in first aid? Yes, I have taken first aid training before. As a teacher, you are required to receive first aid training. First aid is very helpful if an accident happens, so you know what procedures to take. How can we prevent accidents? We can minimize the chance of an accident happening by following certain precautions. For example, in your house, if there are any sharp edges on furniture, you can cover it up with some kind of plastic so that if somebody trips and falls against it, they won't get hurt badly. Also, you can baby-proof your house by locking cabinets with harmful chemicals in it, and like I said before, watching out for sharp objects. Do you often worry about getting into an accident? I am very careful not to get into an accident when I drive. So I make sure to look everywhere before I cross the road, and I drive under the speed limit. Have you or your parents ever filed an insurance claim? Insurance is something you pay every month in case something breaks or gets stolen. When you want to drive your car, you need insurance in case you get into an accident. I remember when I was younger, I was riding my bike and I didn't lock it and it got stolen. My parents had to use insurance to buy a new bike. Have you ever been admitted into hospital? I have only been admitted to a hospital for tonsillitis, to remove my tonsils, when I was very young. Besides that, I've been fortunate enough to never be admitted into a hospital. I have visited friends and family at the hospital. When they have to get surgery or when they have an accident, I go with them to make sure they are fine. Emergencies will happen. A friend might get sick or get hurt, and then you have to drive them to the hospital to get proper treatment. What's a tragic story that you saw on the news? Yesterday I saw a story in the news of a young man getting into a car accident and he got very bad burns over his body. What should you do in case of a fire? If the fire is very bad and you can't put it out, immediately escape and call the fire department to come and put it out. Have you ever been or seen a car accident? Yes, I've been in a car accident once. Some friends were driving and going around a corner. There was some pavement they didn't see and they bumped their car over it. Unfortunately, the car took some damage, but luckily nobody else got hurt. Have you ever made an emergency call? No, I don't think I've ever made an emergency phone call. Or you can say, yes, I've made an emergency call. There was something wrong at home and I had to call the police to come and help. What dangers can be found in bathrooms that could cause an accident? Bathrooms can get very slippery, so someone can easily slip and fall to hurt themselves. Do you know anyone who is accident prone? Accident prone means to get into many accidents. Recently, I thought I was kind of accident prone because I hurt my knee the one week, and then the next week I cut my hand to get stitches, and then a week later I had some kind of eye infection. So I think I might have been accident prone for a short period of time. Have you ever helped someone who had an accident? Yes, someone was feeling really bad and I had to drive them to the emergency room. I've also had a friend who fell and hurt their leg, and I helped them to get to the emergency room too to get checked out. What kind of training can you get in case of accidents? First aid is the main type of training you can get to prepare for accidents. You learn what to do in case someone has an accident. First aid is there to help someone immediately before the ambulance can show up. What do your parents warn you about before you go out? My parents warned me to stay safe and check all my belongings when I'm walking down the street or when I go to a party. They also tell me to dress warm if it's cold outside. Have you ever visited someone in the hospital? Yes, I visited many people in the hospital. When they are sick or when they are getting surgery, I visit them and take them a gift to cheer them up. It can get very boring when you are all alone at the hospital, so I try and visit them often. What big tragedy happened in the last 10 years? Well, recently there was an airplane from Indonesia that crashed close to Jakarta, and many people died. That is such a tragedy when many lives are lost. What should you do in case of an earthquake? Big earthquakes can do a lot of damage to buildings. So what you want to do is you want to get outside of the building as quickly as possible and go to an open area that is safe. Because with an earthquake, it can make the buildings collapse, and you need to be away from the building so that nothing falls on top of you. If you want more English questions, check out the book in the description below.